We don't mind smoking.
I gotta do me argue with him now.
You know, it's the city's most strictest gun law in the nation.
And those rights are life, liberty, and the atmosphere. And those rights are not being infringed upon at all by the government. They are being protected by our government.
That's right.
Serve those rights. Serve those inalienable gifts from our creed.
There wouldn't have been a 10th Amendment, states' rights. I mean, there were a lot of the founders actually, when they were trying to figure out amendments, trying to figure out many of them.
Around 2005, when I saw how the government was working, and I don't mean one political party, I mean both. They both are guilty of the crimes of taking our freedoms. I also think to myself, going using history, why did Japan not attack the United States?
Yeah.
Why? Because they knew that the minute they stepped on the shore, they wouldn't be facing an army, a navy, an air force. They would be facing every citizen. The admiral, the head admiral of their navy said the reason why they didn't is because he knew that to step on U.S. soil, they would find a gun behind every blade of grass.
Yeah.
John Adams said, our Constitution was made only for immoral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. If we don't stand up, we will lose it. The Constitution can be taken away from us as quickly in the dark of the night as a blink of an eye, if we don't do our part.
Look around you, folks. There's people from every walk of life. There's people with every color skin. There's people probably from most all ethnicities in this world. But look around you. We're the people. These people here are the people that stood at Concord Bridge. We're the people who made America great. We're the spirit that can keep America great. We are the people who God has placed at this moment in time to stand for one of the most important, epic things that have ever happened in America, the challenge of our fundamental freedoms, the destruction of what has kept us free for all these years, or the reclaiming of it, and the preservation of it for our children and our grandchildren. It's up to us. The system's not broke. The system isn't broke. It's we, the people, that must make it work. We got to go inside these halls. We got to let these guys know they're not our rulers, they're our servants. This is America. We got to let them know that they answer to the will of the people. And if they speak up to you and say, who are you? As they said to me many times, I'm the guy that signed your check.
Yes!
Not going to enforce the Constitution, it's us. It's you folks that have appeared at Concord Bridge when the King of Great Britain said, go and get their guns, go and get their powder. Guess what, folks? It's 2013, and the King is saying once again, go and get their guns. Go and get their powder.
We will not comply!
America exists because good and decent men were willing to take up arms against a tyrant king. I'm not calling for war. I'm not calling for war. I'm calling for an action that can avoid war. Let's get busy. Let's do our part. You folks are the people that will do it. You're the people who had the gumption, who had the spirit of our founding fathers that appeared here today. Don't let go of it. Evangelize it. Spread it in every step of your lives, in every walk of your lives, and everywhere you go. Spread it to your fellows. Take these young children that were raised in government schools and teach them what being American is all about. If not America, to stand up for the dignity of man and for the freedom of man, then what country in the world will do it? We are indeed the last great hope of freedom for man on earth.
Yeah. Listen, my name's Hugh Scott Shashy. I've been in this movement since the day it started. Can you hear me now? Speak up. I do. Just good? How about now? Yeah. My name is Hugh Scott Shashy. I've been in this movement since the day it started on this same plaza. So I'm tired of marching. And I'm sick of this communist in the White House. It's time we finally just really did something. Now, there is another Tea Party planned here for February 8th. February 8th at 10 a.m. It's a nation. Can you hear me now? All right, it's a nationwide Tea Party at every capital in the United States. It's another Second Amendment rights Tea Party. Because of the millions of people in the databases of all the over 10,000 groups in the country under different brands and names, Georgia has 157 chapters. All we have to do, let's make Georgia an example. This is really going to scare the president, like right now. All Georgia has to do is have one of our fancy constitutional scholars or attorneys that are all free, because they can't stand this guy either, draft the proper legislation, put it in the email database of all the different groups in Georgia, send it to their constituents via email. They hit the print button, they sign it, mail it to somebody, one person, and they walk right there and say, we want you to discuss impeaching the president, and by law, we will force them. It will go across the country, and we are just now, it's just damn time, guys.
Amen.
We can scream all we want, but until we throw these people out of there, nothing's going to happen. Now notice today, where in the hell's the mainstream media? Nowhere. This company is tackling them as well. So shove it, Obama. We got you finally. Check bait.
I'm an OSHA instructor for civilian and military contracting. I travel this country going to our military bases, and I watch what all of our young soldiers are being taught today to do. Our Constitution stands for way better than what they're being taught today. Their suicide rates have exceeded their mortality rate on the field over the last year. It's sad to hear. But my fellow patriots, some might say that we are exaggerating our faith, belief, and conviction of our Constitution, calling it outdated and antiquated. Some claim that the document ideals that built such an extraordinary nation do not apply to us anymore. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I cannot help but think of what the emotional responses would be from our forefathers. Imagine George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, or Thomas Paine standing amongst us right now. So many people are out there as armchair warriors, complaining about everything that's going on but not doing anything, and I felt so good myself as well to show up here and see all of you here. It just reinstills my faith in what we're doing. One of the first things we must consider is the definition of the rights listed in our bill. Each of them has a specific purpose, but what definition do they all have in common? They are inalienable rights. Inalienable, or God's given rights, apply to humanity as a whole, but we are fortunate enough to have a nation founded on it. It's in writing for us. If we waste it, what will happen next? It is our duty, according to the Declaration of Independence, that if we have a government that oppresses us, we must find a way to get around them, get them out of office if that's what it takes. We don't need a war to do this. We just need action. These rights are common sense to honest, law-abiding people. Before government, and yet alongside of it, the conscience rules supreme. In recognition of this, our forefathers had the wisdom to implement the Bill of Rights, uplifting the spiritual well-being of the American people. As each of our rights had been written, the purpose for them was to guarantee that we, the people, kept our dignity, our spirituality, and our creativity. Of course, this beautiful list of rights cannot exist if not for the Second Amendment. Yes, without the ability to protect ourselves, our families, our communities, and these very rights, then the purpose of writing them would be lost. The guarantee is only as strong as its defense. Our Second Amendment was wisely implemented to ensure that we, the people, retain the power that our great nation was so ingeniously founded upon. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Shall not.
But what is the militia? George Mason, co-author of our Second Amendment, said, "I ask, sir, what is the militia? It is the whole people. To disarm the people is the best and most effectual way to enslave them." Alexander Hamilton also said that standing army can never be formidable, threatening to the liberties of the people, while there is a large body of citizens, little if at all inferior to them in the use of arms. Little more can be aimed at with respect to the people at large than to have them properly armed and equipped. This was in response to the claim that the militia itself could threaten liberty. There is something so far-fetched and so extravagant in the idea of danger of liberty from the militia that one is at a loss whether to treat it with gravity or raillery. And what is well regulated? To be proficient in the use of guns was the aim of our forefathers, and with good reason. Thomas Jefferson said, "Laws that forbid the carrying of arms disarm only those who are neither inclined nor determined to commit crimes. Such laws make things worse for the assaulted and better for the assailants. They serve rather to encourage than to prevent homicides, for an unarmed man may be attacked with greater confidence than an armed man."
Hears me, Florida hears me, Alaska hears me, Hawaii hears me, Maine hears me. I want to be certain that those individuals in that bureaucratic knot of nonsense they call Capitol Hill hear me. I want to be certain that those individuals who are not our employers, they are our employees. They hear me. It strikes me very interestingly that while President Obama and his current administration seems to be so very intent during his second administration here, his second term, that he wants to initiate gun control. Oh, we're going to initiate gun control.
Hell no! No!
Let me tell you a little something about gun control. It is a sad reality. Those children in that school, that was a sad event. It was a tragic event. No gun control law, proposed or current, would have prevented that event. It is amazing to me that the Obama administration and all this current gun control issues, we still do not know all of the events, the individuals and organizations involved that purposely, through our federal government, purchased illegally guns in this country and then purposely put them across the border in the hands of our enemy, of drug dealers, of folks who are known hostiles to our citizens, ourselves, and our children. Mr. Obama, and I say it as Mr. Obama, before you start stomping on my Second Amendment rights, clean your own house. What are the final details of Fast and Furious? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. And then what little they knew wound up with pieces of paper so blacked out you could only see one word, maybe two. And then it's, well, national security, national security. Well, guys and gals, that's why they have closed-door sessions for national security. Take it in the closed door and get the information and find out who did what, when, and where, and why. And let us discover how it is that a gun that was purposely put across the border into our enemy hands came back across this border and murdered an American officer in the performance of his duties. His family still does not have resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, we must stand up and we must make our message loud and clear. This is not a time for apathy. This is not a time for, well, I just don't really have time to vote. You've got to make time. Now, we're speaking to a crowd here that knows this. I don't have to tell you this, you know this. Our job, ladies and gentlemen, is to get this information out to those who do not know this. Put it at your place of work. Talk with your neighbors up and down the streets. Let anyone and everyone you know understand what the Second Amendment actually means, and remind them that before the current administration fools with our Second Amendment and then decide to move on to the next one and the next one, they need to clean up their own house. And there's one more thing I want to make a point of. Gun control. Now, what's happened in the last week since they mentioned gun control? Everybody and their grandma has had to run out and get an AR-15. So now, instead of reasonable gun processes through organizations like the NRA, I'm a lifetime benefactor member of the NRA, and that organization, along with many other organizations, works diligently to train and educate people about a gun. Let's face it, it's a dangerous instrument. You need to know what you're doing. The barrel goes that way. Okay, this is the end the bullets go in, this is the end the bullets come out. I got you. So, what has happened in the last week is now we've got a lot of people running around with an AR-15 playing Rambo and have no clue which end the bullets go in or go out.
Put them in the front.
Yeah, put them in the front. Take your time. Put this word out. It is not a time for apathy. It is not a time for silence. It is not a time for, I do not have time. Make the time. God bless the United States, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so very much.